Level 3 has now changed a lot. We didn't think that the 2 leg yields back to back was working. There were very few people that could pull it off. It was not an easy thing to do, so we've split those apart now. Whee! Redhead. I have redheads, so I can say that. I love them, but they are redheaded. I know. So anyway, we split the 2 leg yields apart. We took the halt out of the middle of the test, not because we thought it was a problem. We actually liked it, but we just couldn't find a place to put it. And we felt it was more important to split the 2 leg yields apart than to have the halt in there. So the halt is gone. I liked it because it was my first 10 on a little Arabian umpteen million years ago when they had the halt at A in first level 3. But we just couldn't figure out where to put it to make it work, so we took it out. And then the canter work. It's extremely important for anybody who has already ridden first 3. If you ride it again, if you don't pay attention, you will go off course because we have flip-flopped the loops and the lengthenings. The loop is now first, both directions, because we all got really exhausted watching people do the loop Mach 10. Okay? It was a bit much. And nobody ever came back. We also moved the circle in the canter. It used to be you had to pick the canter up and immediately circle, and most people just whipped the horse into this little tiny circle instead of a 15-meter circle. So we decided that was maybe a little too hard. And we thought that perhaps putting the circle between the loop and the lengthening was kind of a moment for everybody to take a breath and relax and rebalance and then go for the lengthening. Okay, so this test is very similar to the old one and very different to the old one. So I'm guessing I will be blowing my whistle a lot in the next 6 months for people who have ridden it before. If you've never ridden it before, it'll be fine. But for people who have ridden it before, because that test has been around for at least 12 years, if not 16. So I think it's been around for a majority of my judging career, so probably 16. So if you have ridden it and you're going to ride it again, make sure that you really study it because it's just different enough to get you lost. Okay?
All right, everyone, this is Marie Medosi from San Diego. She's on a 7-year-old gelding. 5-year-old gelding, sorry. She'll be demonstrating first 3.
Marie, do you need a little bit of direction since you were kind of a last minute? Okay. She can come to E if she wants. Isabel, if you want to stand at E, you can. Be brave. Come to E. It's good. Oh, you guys are cheating. That's illegal at a horse show, okay? Just saying. It's fine for here. The horse is kind of looking a little bit like a snake. A little bit of a wiggle worm. The halt is not stable. But at first level, I would give it a 6. Unless she says something drastic before she gets to me. Now the turn itself is involved in the next movement. Breaks to the canter. Very tactfully corrected. Doesn't make it into a big event. Then just says, no, that's not what I meant. Fortunately, it has to be a 4. So the horse wanted to fall on the right shoulder, but the rider did a very good job of correcting it. and kept the horse fairly straight, but just with a little bit of head tilt. A 7. That was supposed to be a full circle. Your reader is, are you not listening to her? So then I would not blow her off course. I would just tell her that the circle was too long and give it a 6, because that's more user-friendly. Now you're going to leg yield S to L. This leg yield is much better. Nice crossing. Fluid, I would give it an 8. I think there was probably a little bit of bend in the neck, but I can't see it from here, so she gets away with it from me. This circle's much better, a little short in the neck, 7.5. Here the horse is not really stretching very much. A lot of young horses, this is really difficult for them. So I would say minimal stretch, 6. M to V free walk. So this horse is an example of the walk is a little too short to be a true medium walk. It's more of a collected walk, and I would say that. Give a 6.5. Now she does a free walk to V. The horse could cover even more ground with a little bit more swing through the top line, a 7. Now she has to prepare for 2 transitions without the horse getting wound up. That was very quietly and nicely done. Little short in the neck, 7.5. Whee! Now she was quite clever because she was able to keep going and didn't circle around. She did get past the center line a little bit, so the geometry was a bit of a problem, and then the little shy at the beginning, but I would give it a 5. She managed that really well. 15-meter circle at C. Come back around and you didn't know that. So she didn't know she was doing this till 5 minutes ago, so we won't give her an error for that one. 15-meter circle at C. The horse is a little braced in the neck. The circle is just a breath small, but I would still give it a 7. It's a little exuberant in its lengthening and unsteady in the connection, 6.5. There is a clear transition. The horse is bobbing its head, so a 7. That's just a strength issue with these young horses. You need to pick the canter back up. Just change through the trot. So if that is what she had done, I would have said too many trot steps and given it a 6. Now your loop. This one's much better. She got right to the center line. And see if the horse will go by the corner it didn't like before. A little bit of the bobbing head again. Now circle at A, 15 meters. So I would give that a 7. And then you're going to lengthen from K to S. I thought that circle was more balanced than the other one, so I'd be an 8. I still would like the neck to be longer. Here the horse is covering quite nice ground. It could be a little bit straighter in the neck. She might be doing that because she thinks the horse might be planning to do something. Now trot at C. So I would give it a 7.5, and then the transition, a 7. The trot, a little short in the neck again, 7. Horse is not always steady in its balance, 6.5. A little bit of tension going into the halt, but ends up square, 6.5. Okay. All right, that's the first time I've seen it ridden. I like it better already. It's nice to see a horse doing the shallow loop without going 90 miles an hour. Anybody other opinions of it?
I like it.
Like the leg yields better? Yeah, I think they're going to be a lot more user-friendly instead of just throwing the horse from one shoulder to the other, which is kind of what we did with the last round. This was a good I mean, she didn't know she was going to be doing this until a few minutes ago, so we'll give her a little credit on going off course. But it showed us real life what happens, okay, which I think is just as important as learning the new tests is what do I do when something goes wrong. When the horse shied at F, I know a lot of riders, probably at least 60% of the riders would have circled to try to make it better. I have to judge your first attempt. So if you circle back around, she ended up with a 5 on that. If she circled back around, she probably would have gotten a 3 and a -2, so she would have ended up with 1. Okay? So she was confident enough that she knew she could come off the rail, regroup, get the horse back under control, and go on. So she didn't take the chance of getting there. If you don't have to circle, don't, because it's costly. And I have to judge your first attempt. I don't get to judge the second attempt. The only time I judge the second attempt is if I blow the whistle, like when she forgot the circle down there. Okay? Then I judge what happens after I blow the whistle. Okay? The stretch circle on this horse was... You let me come see you? Yeah? Hi.
The stretch circle was non-existent.
He says, I had bananas from you yesterday. Where are they? Hi. 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 So this is the point of the shoulder. Everybody know that? Okay? That's where we're aiming for them to stretch. He just didn't have the confidence.
Use your mic, Kristi.
Sorry. He didn't have the confidence to just quite let go that much. And that would be my comment too, is lacks confidence to stretch today. When I see that things are going wrong because the horse is scared out of its wits or whatever, and that the rider is empathetic to the horse, I use the word confidence a lot. I use the word tentative. If she does a lengthening that's a little so-so because she knows it's going to buck, if she does a real lengthening, I'll say cautious. So she knows that I'm not stupid and like, why didn't you go? Okay, that kind of thing. And I'll also, when the rider is very empathetic, I will make comments to that effect. Tactful riding, good recovery, that kind of thing. For those of you that are the L people, where did you go? There's one over here somewhere, right? There you are. And one down here. You want to encourage them, okay? Don't chase them away. They're paying our income, okay? You want to encourage a person. Don't lie to them. That's not right either. The Santa Claus judges are not doing our sport any good. They're lying to people and giving them exorbitant scores that aren't honest. And then the person goes all the way to Kentucky, spends $5,000, and gets creamed because they got lied to. That's not in my opinion, that's not nice. And I don't want to be the one to cream them at nationals. I want them to come to nationals and have the time of their life, you know, and for them to come. We had 3 people in the 3rd level freestyle that had illegal movements. By the time they got to nationals, they should have seen at least 4 to 5 judges by then. 6 or 7 with regionals. Why didn't anybody catch it? That's not, I'm sorry, but we judges have to do better in that respect, and the riders need to know the rules better before you spend $5,000 to go to nationals, because from this end of the country, that's what you're going to spend at minimum. And I won. We had 3 or 4 riders with illegal movements at nationals. It just shouldn't happen at that point. Okay? So and the onus is on you. And the onus is on you. I can't stand it when a rider comes in late and they say, the ring steward didn't tell me. And my answer is, do you know how to tell time? Because it's your ride time, not the ring steward's ride time. Your ride time is when you're coming down center line, not when you decide to leave the warm-up ring or you decide to take your boots off. It's when you're coming down center line. And we have the right to eliminate you. And when we do eliminate you, we get written up and we have to justify ourselves to the Licensed Officials Committee, believe it or not. But I'll tell you what, I ring people in a championship show. I have no qualms about it, because it's not fair to the other riders who came on time, right? So I thought she handled the tension really well. She got doing my quick math, I would say about a 64. And with as scared as he was, it could have been a disaster. If she had reacted to things, gotten tight, pulled on the reins, stuff like that, then she would have made him afraid of this white box. Okay, this horse is young. He may never have been in an arena like this before, that kind of thing. So she ends on another horse that ends with, that's as important to them as them showing you guys the tests. So I would be happy as a judge. I'm sorry it wasn't a better ride, but I would be very happy with the way she rode, and I would bet money that when she came back to do her second ride, the horse would be better. Okay? Any questions on it? Did everybody like it better? I do. The last round of tests, I'm the one that went to a barn and we timed them all and we figured out if they worked and all that kind of, oh no, that's too tight, that's too sharp. And this time I didn't do that part, so I haven't seen any of them ridden before today, so. I think it's much more user-friendly and much more logical. Our tests need to, and we make mistakes. We'll be the first one. There's like 12 of us on the committee, riders, judges, trainers, the head of the instructor, certified instructors, Lilo 4. It's not just judges, it's also a lot, well, I ride too, but there's some of our top riders are on the committee. We still make mistakes. It looks good on a piece of paper and then it starts getting ridden. It's like, oh. First show I went to with the 2 back-to-back leg yields, I was like, oopsie. But anyway, but we do try really hard to think of it from a standpoint, does it make sense to the horse in their training? Because that's the most important piece, is that it helps the training. It's not just to say, I get the blue ribbon. Okay? Any other questions? All right, thank you, Marie.